The Appalachian artist Tom Whitaker has been known to say, "Be what you is, and not what you ain't. 'Cause if you ain't what you is what you ain't." St. Francis de Sales said it this way, "Be who you are, and be that very well." Well, who are we? Jesus says we are the salt of the earth and the light of the world. What does it mean to be salt and light? Salt adds flavor, and Jesus reminds us that salt without taste is no longer good for anything. In other words, be what you is. Be salt. Go forth and add flavor to our world. Pope Francis says, we no longer say that we are disciples and missionaries, but rather that we are always missionary disciples. And he sees the church as a community of missionary disciples who take the first step, who are involved and supportive, who bear fruit and rejoice. Jesus also says, you are the light of the world. A city set on a mountain cannot be hidden. Pilgrims used to come from far and wide to see St. John Vianney, who was known to spend over 14 hours a day in the confessional. When the crowds became too much, and he sought out solitude with his brother in another village, the pilgrims searched, found him, and went there instead. The light of his holiness was meant to be seen. Jesus says, nor do they light a lamp and then put it under a bushel basket. It is set on a lampstand, where it gives light to all in the house. We are invited to be missionary disciples, visible witnesses to Jesus, who go out and shine for others. Some people are comfortable with what could be called a country club Catholicism, private, members only. Instead of a light for others, religion becomes a safe place with people like me. This is one way to smother the light with a bushel basket, which is not only wasteful, but downright dangerous when you think about it. Pope Francis says, I prefer a church which is bruised, hurting, and dirty because it has been out on the streets, rather than a church which is unhealthy from being confined and from clinging to its own security. Be what you is. Be salt. Be light. Be missionary disciples. But how? Isaiah says, share your bread with the hungry. Shelter the oppressed and the homeless. Clothe the naked when you see them. Then your light shall break forth like the dawn, and your wound shall quickly be healed. Share, shelter, clothe. It's clear. But if it was easy or natural, the world would be a very different place. Where do we find the spiritual strength to do this? In our second reading, St. Paul says, I did not come with sublimity of words or of wisdom, but with a demonstration of spirit. The power of his missionary discipleship came not from himself, but from Christ. In 1834, Blessed Chaminade had similar words for a Marianist priest. Real missionaries must in no way count on themselves alone. Rather, they must put all their confidence in the grace of their mission and also in the protection of the Blessed Virgin. Our ability to be salt and light, to be missionary disciples, comes from God, who loves us. On Sunday, many of you saw Bruno Mars at the Super Bowl halftime show. Aerial views showed a stadium alive with light, inside and out, with fireworks reaching into the sky. Each time we share with, shelter, or clothe others, an even more brilliant light shines. Be what you is. Be the salt of the earth. Be the light of the world. Be missionary disciples in the classroom, at athletic practice, around the dinner table or in the drive-thru, on the computer and in the streets. Our Lady of Perpetual Help, pray for us.